You've been really good with money, like genuinely responsible. You cut back on eating out, you canceled a couple of subscriptions, you stopped buying coffee every morning and started making it at home. And every single month, you move a nice chunk of your paycheck straight into your savings account. No questions asked. You do everything right. You save and save and save. And then, 5 years later, you log into your bank account, and the number sitting there is a little disappointing. Not terrible, but definitely not the life-changing wealth you were quietly imagining when you started all this. You look at the balance and think, where did the time go? And why am I not further ahead? If that hits close to home, you need to watch this entire video, because I'm going to show you exactly why saving money, as disciplined and admirable as it is, will never make you rich on its own. And more importantly, I'm going to show you what actually will. My name's Nick, and I spend way too much time thinking about why hardworking people stay broke, while people who seem to work less end up wealthy. If you're someone who saves consistently, but still feels like your financial life isn't really moving forward, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. All right, let's get into it. Here's the thing. From the moment you were old enough to understand money, you were told one thing: save your money. Your parents said it, your teachers said it, every financial advice column on the internet says it. And look, saving is good. I'm not here to tell you to blow all your cash. But the problem is that saving has been sold to us as a destination. Like if you just save enough, one day you'll arrive at wealth. And that is simply not how money works in the modern economy. Let me give you a number that I want you to sit with for a second. The average high-yield savings account in the US right now is paying somewhere between 4% and
5% interest annually. Sounds decent, right? But here's what most people don't realize. The historical average inflation rate in the United States is about 3.3% per year. So after inflation, your safe savings account is giving you a real return of maybe 1% to 1.5%. That's it. And that's on a good year. In 2022, inflation hit 8%. If you had money sitting in a regular savings account that year, you didn't save money. You lost it. Just slowly, quietly, without anyone sending you a bill. Now, you might be thinking, okay, Nick, but at least I'm not losing money in the stock market. And I get that. I really do. The fear of losing money is one of the most powerful psychological forces in personal finance. There's actually a name for it: loss aversion. The Nobel Prize-winning psychologist Daniel Kahneman found that psychologically, losing $100 feels roughly twice as painful as gaining $100 feels good. That's not logic. That's just how our brains are wired. And the financial industry has quietly exploited that fear for decades. Just save. Just be safe. Meanwhile, the wealthiest people on the planet are doing something completely different. Let's do some real math here, because this is where it gets really interesting. Say you're 25 years old and you've got $500 a month to work with. You decide to be responsible and put all of it into a savings account, earning 4.5% interest. By the time you're 65, that's 40 years, you'd have contributed $240,000 of your own money. And with compound interest, your total balance would be around $583,000. Not bad, right? You nearly 2.5x your money. Now, let's say instead you take that same $500 a month and invest it in a diversified index fund. Something boring and simple, like one that tracks the S&P 500. The S&P 500 has returned an average of about 10.5% annually over the last 50 years. So over those same 40 years, you'd end up with roughly $3.8 million. Same $500, same 40 years, same discipline. A difference of over $3.2 million. Let that number breathe for a second. That gap, that $3.2 million, isn't from working harder.
It isn't from making more money or being smarter. It's purely from where you put your money. That's the secret that nobody in your family probably ever sat you down and explained. Here's the thing. Wealth isn't built by how much you save. It's built by how hard your money works while you sleep. So, why do so many smart, educated, hardworking people still default to just saving? Why don't more people invest? A few reasons, and they're all deeply psychological. Number one, tangibility. Money in a savings account feels real. You can see it. You can access it tomorrow. Investments, on the other hand, feel abstract, especially when the market dips and your balance suddenly shows a loss. Even if that loss is temporary, your brain screams danger. Savings feel safe because you can control them. Number two, financial trauma. A huge percentage of people, especially anyone who lived through the 2008 financial crisis or watched their parents lose money in a crash, developed a deep distrust of the market. And honestly, that makes complete sense emotionally. But it becomes a financial prison if it stops you from building wealth for the next 40 years of your life. Number three, a misunderstanding of risk. Most people think of investing as gambling. And look, if you're buying individual stocks based on tips you got from a Reddit thread at 2 a.m., yeah, that's pretty close to gambling. But investing in a broad index fund, you're literally buying a small piece of every major company in the country. For the S&P 500 to go to zero, every major company in America would have to simultaneously fail. At that point, your stock portfolio is the least of your problems. Here's what I want you to understand. Not investing isn't the safe choice. It just feels safe. The real risk is watching inflation quietly eat your savings for 30 years while your money does nothing.
All right, so I don't want this to just be a video where I scare you about savings and leave you hanging. Let me give you something practical, something you can actually use starting this week. I call it the 3-bucket framework. And before you roll your eyes at another finance framework, stick with me, because this one is dead simple. Bucket 1, the safety net. This is your savings account. And yes, you do need one. The goal here is to keep 3 to 6 months of living expenses in cash. This is your emergency fund, your I just lost my job fund, your the car broke down fund. It is not a wealth building tool. It's insurance. Once it's funded, you stop dumping money here. Bucket 2, the wealth engine. This is where your real money should be going once your safety net is funded. Index funds, a Roth IRA, your employer's 401k, especially if they match contributions, because a match is literally a 50% to 100% instant return on your money, and if you're not taking it, you're leaving free money on the table. This bucket is where compound interest does its magic over 10, 20, 30 years. Bucket 3, the growth fund. Once buckets 1 and 2 are running on autopilot, this is where you can get a little more aggressive if you want. Real estate, individual stocks, a side business, high growth ETFs. This bucket has more risk, but it also has higher upside. Think of it as the accelerator. Most people only have bucket 1, and they wonder why they're not getting ahead. The goal is to automate buckets 1 and 2 so you never have to think about them. Set up automatic transfers the day after your paycheck hits. Pay yourself first. This removes the single biggest obstacle between most people and wealth, themselves. Section 5. The compounding secret. Time is the real currency. Now, here's where I want to push back on something I hear a lot. People say, Nick, I'll start investing when I make more money. Right now, I can't afford to. And I understand that. Life is expensive. Bills are real. But I want to show you why waiting is the most expensive financial decision you can make. Meet 2 people. Let's call them Aisha and Marcus. Aisha starts investing $200 a month at age 22. She does it for 10 years and then completely stops. Never invests another dollar. Total invested? $24,000. Marcus waits until he's 32 to start. Then he invests $200 a month for the next 33 years, all the way until he's 65. Total invested? $79,200. Marcus invested more than 3 times as much money as Aisha. Who ends up with more at 65? Aisha does. Assuming a 10% average annual return, Aisha ends up with around $805,000. Marcus ends up with about $452,000. Aisha invested for 10 years and stopped. Marcus invested for 33 years and never stopped. Aisha wins by almost double because she started 10 years earlier. That is the power of compound interest. And that is why every single year you wait is not just a delay, it is genuinely mathematically expensive. Albert Einstein, whether he actually said it or not, was right. Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. Those who understand it, earn it. Those who don't, pay it.
Here's another thing saving can't fix, and this one's important. There is a ceiling on how much you can save. By definition, you can only save what you earn, and even the most disciplined person can only cut their spending so far before they hit bone. You can't save your way to $1 million if you're earning $45,000 a year and have a family and a rent payment. But there is no ceiling on how much your investments can grow. That's the fundamental difference between earned income and investment income. Earned income stops the moment you stop working. Investment income, dividends, capital gains, rental income, keeps going whether you're asleep, on vacation, or spending a Saturday with your kids. The goal isn't just to have money. The goal is to eventually have money that makes money. That's what financial independence actually means. Not that you never work again, but that you work because you want to, not because you have to. And look, I'm not saying quit your job tomorrow and YOLO everything into crypto. I'm saying start building that second income stream now, even if it's tiny. $50 a month in an index fund is a start. A Roth IRA contribution on a random Tuesday is a start. Every dollar you put to work is a dollar that begins compounding. And over time, small actions taken consistently create outcomes that look like magic. This is the part of the video that most finance channels skip, and I think it might be the most important. You will never consistently do something that conflicts with how you see yourself. If your financial identity is, I'm a saver, I'm responsible, I'm careful, that's beautiful. That discipline is a genuine superpower. But if saving is all you are, you will keep doing only that, even when it stops serving you. At some point, you have to make a shift. Not a dramatic, risky shift, a mental one. You have to start seeing yourself as an investor, as someone who builds wealth, not just preserves it. And here's the thing, that shift changes your behavior automatically. Investors ask different questions. Instead of how much can I cut this month, they ask, where should I put this money to work? Instead of feeling proud of a growing savings balance, they feel the itch to deploy capital efficiently. It's not about being reckless. The most successful investors I've ever studied are some of the most patient, boring, methodical people you'll ever meet. Warren Buffett's favorite holding period is forever. He's not gambling. He's gardening. He plants, waters, and waits. You can do the same thing. You don't need to be Warren Buffett. You just need to start thinking like someone who believes their money has a job to do.
All right, let me give you something concrete. Here's what I'd do in the next 30 days if I were starting from scratch. Week 1. Calculate your actual monthly expenses. Not what you think they are, what they actually are. Pull up your bank statement and add it up honestly. This is your savings target. 3 to 6 months of that number sitting in a high-yield savings account. Nothing more. Week 2. Open a Roth IRA if you don't have one. It takes about 15 minutes. Fidelity, Vanguard, Schwab, pick any of the big three. You can contribute up to $7,000 per year in 2025 if you're under 50. Set up automatic monthly contributions, even if it's $100 to start. Pick a simple target date retirement fund or a total market index fund and let it run. Week 3. If your employer offers a 401k match, make sure you're contributing at least enough to get the full match. This is non-negotiable. It is free money. Week 4. Read one book or watch one series of videos about index fund investing. I'd recommend starting with J.L. Collins' The Simple Path to Wealth, or anything from John Bogle, the founder of Vanguard.
Understanding why your money is doing what it's doing will keep you calm when the market dips, and it will dip. None of this is complicated. The hardest part is starting. The second hardest part is doing nothing when the market scares you. But if you can master those two things, you will be ahead of the vast majority of people who are still out here just saving and wondering why nothing is changing.
Look, I want to be straight with you. Saving money is not the enemy. It is a necessary, foundational habit, but it is the floor, not the ceiling. And if you've been treating it like the destination, I genuinely hope this video felt like someone turning the lights on in a room you didn't know was dark. The system is not broken. You're not broken. You just weren't given the full picture. Nobody sat you down at 20 years old and showed you the math we walked through today. Nobody explained the difference between money you save and money you deploy. That's not your fault. But from this moment forward, it is your responsibility. The best time to start investing was yesterday. The second best time is right now. Literally, after this video, open a browser tab and look into a Roth IRA. Don't wait for a better time. Don't wait until you make more money. Don't wait until the market looks safer. Time in the market always beats timing the market. Your future self, the one sitting somewhere comfortable in their 50s or 60s, looking at an account balance that actually reflects decades of smart decisions, that version of you is counting on the decision you make today. Don't let them down. If this video gave you even one idea that changes how you think about your money, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. Hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.